Do things seem to be out of control? Are they overwhelming? Are you up against an obstacle that seems to be oversized? Well, if you do, as we often are, then I encourage you to open up your Bible and go to Joshua 3 and 4 to see this account of when Joshua now who's freshly stepped into official leadership, is leading the Israelites across the Jordan River, or he needs to lead them across the Jordan River, which is, just read it, Joshua chapter 3, verse 15. I'll start at 14. So the people left their camp to cross the Jordan, and the priests who were carrying the Ark of the Covenant went ahead of them. It was the harvest season, and the Jordan was overflowing its banks. But as soon as the feet of the priests who were carrying the ark touched the water at the river's edge, the water above that point began backing up a great distance away at a town called Adam, which is near Zarethan. And the water below that point flowed out onto the Dead Sea until the riverbed was dry, and then all the people crossed over near the town of Jericho. So it's these guys that are carrying the ark are stuck in the middle of this river for a while. All these hundreds of thousands, millions of people walk across the river as if on dry ground after God does this miraculous thing. But the key, I think, of the passage is right in verse 15, where it says, it was the harvest season and the Jordan was overflowing its banks. That's normal, apparently, for the river to be flowing wildly out of control. Water is coming over the edge because as part of this season, the river swells up. There's too much water for the land to contain, so the river gets bigger, gets deeper, gets wider. It overflows its banks. And, you know, we often want God to do things to our problems in a way that's not his plan. We want God to change the season. God, I just want it to be the dry season again. Or God, I just want it to be the spring season again. I want it to be planting season again. Well, eventually it has to become harvest season. It can't be planting season all the time, or there'd never be anything to plant again, right? We need to plant, and then it's got to grow, and then we've got to harvest it so that we can do this cycle again, all the while being able to grind up what we've harvested and make it into bread so that we can eat it, so that we can consume it, so that we can make progress, so that we can grow. Are you in a hard season? The hard part about hard seasons is that God usually doesn't change the season. He just changes the circumstance. And I wish that I could tell you that he's just going to, swipe left or swipe right, depending on how much you like whatever situation you're in. But he's not. He doesn't change the season. He doesn't make it back into growing season or back into planting season or into dormancy season. He changes the situation. He changes the river. He shrinks the obstacle that you need to get across. So if I could encourage you in anything today, I would encourage you to just be okay with the season, but ask God to change the circumstance. He could do either. He could do both, but we need the season to grow. God's primary concern is your character, not the uncomfortability of the season that you're in. Growing hurts. Let's lean in. Let's look to God to change the situation. But let's be part of the season that we're in. Be blessed.